Hello. Before I get into the speech, I wanted to reflect on the answers my audience gave to the 5 questions I asked about this topic. So for number 1, I asked, do you think marijuana should be legal in North Carolina? 100% of people who answered said yes. Number 2, should it be legal for recreational use, medical, or both? 100% who answered said both. Number 3, do you know anyone who uses marijuana recreationally or medically? 66% said yes and 33% said no. Number 4, are you familiar with marijuana's medical benefits? 66% said yes, 33% said no. And number 5, what would be some concerns you may have if marijuana were legal? And they gave answers such as how much people buy, overuse, and public intoxication. Marijuana is one of the most widely used and readily available drugs in North Carolina. It is also still illegal. I am here today to urge the NC General Assembly to pass the Marijuana Legalization and Reinvestment Act. According to the North Carolina General Assembly, this act, which was originally filed on March 17, 2025, would legalize and regulate the sale, possession, and use of cannabis in North Carolina. I believe North Carolina should pass this act, legalizing marijuana both recreationally and medically, because it would positively stimulate North Carolina's economy because of its medical benefits for people with medical conditions, and because it would make North Carolina's ability to regulate amounts much easier and safer. I chose to give my speech on this topic because I am someone with medical conditions that are greatly improved with cannabis use. But it being illegal makes it hard to acquire. First, I will talk about how legalizing marijuana will positively stimulate North Carolina's economy. According to Attorney US, legalizing marijuana in North Carolina would have a multifaceted impact on North Carolina's economy. Legalization would unlock a substantial new revenue stream for NC through taxes on marijuana sales. A well-designed tax structure incorporating excise taxes and sales taxes could maximize revenue while minimizing negative effects on consumer demands. Also, if passed, the bill would establish a 30% excise tax on recreational cannabis sales, with municipalities able to add a 2% local tax. Revenue would be allocated to the state's general fund, substance abuse programs, and a Community Reinvestment Act aimed at supporting disadvantaged communities in North Carolina. Next, I will talk about how legalizing marijuana in North Carolina would greatly benefit people with medical conditions. According to Harvard Health, the most common use of medical marijuana in the US is for pain control. While marijuana isn't strong enough for severe pain, for example, post-surgery pain or broken bones, it is quite effective for the chronic pain that plagues millions of Americans, especially as they age. Part of its allure is that it is clearly safer than opiates. Marijuana is impossible to overdose on, and it's far less addictive. It can also take the place of NSAIDs, like Advil or Aleve, if people can't take those medications due to conditions with their kidneys, ulcers, or GERD. Medical marijuana can be beneficial for diseases that come with chronic pain. This is diseases like cancer, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, endometriosis, etc. Those diseases can all be helped with medical marijuana. There are also studies that show marijuana helps reduce anxiety and improve symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. Finally, we will talk about how legalizing marijuana in North Carolina will help be able to regulate it and make it safer for consumers. Let's face it, people will grow, sell, and smoke marijuana whether it is legal or not. If marijuana was legalized, it would be able to be more strictly regulated. Cannabis businesses would require state licensing and regulation, including lab testing, potency labeling, and secure packaging. We see the truth in this based on evidence from states that have already legalized marijuana. To conclude this speech, I just wanted to reiterate the main points we talked about. First, we talked about how legalizing marijuana in North Carolina would positively stimulate its economy. Then we talked about marijuana's health benefits for people with physical and mental diseases. And finally, we talked about how legalizing marijuana in North Carolina would make it easier to regulate and make it safer. I firmly believe if the North Carolina General Assembly passes this act, it would have only positive impacts for North Carolina. Thank you.